the decision-making positions, in the boardroom, at the ownership level, just to introduce some of those ideas and push for diversity.
The push for diversity in sports. For decades, players have been using their platforms to bring awareness to the racial injustice happening across North America. But sports is embedded with racism itself, which has many wondering why has it taken some leagues and teams so long to be a part of the push for change.
Some people think it's like this because this is the way it's always been, and there are some things in there that are inherently racist and oppressive, but they're not being addressed because everybody in the room looks around and says, this is okay, right? Yeah, it's okay. This is the way we've always done it, right? Yeah, okay. So they continue on. And when you get this groundswell and this stuff from the bottom saying, no, this is not right, now the questions start to be asked. So getting more diversity up at the top levels would definitely help.
Of the 4 major sports leagues in North America, every commissioner is a white man. Now let's take a look at some of the ownership. 32 teams in the NFL, 1 person of color is a majority team owner. Of the 30 teams in baseball, just 2 of the majority team owners are people of color. The NHL and NBA are not far off from those statistics. And here in Canada, look at the board of directors at Hockey Canada. Every single member is a white man.
The racial hierarchy still exists about who's in charge and who is subject to the rules. The fact that owners or commissioners, with some pretty significant exceptions, but for the most part seem to be getting on board with anti-racist movements, that's a really significant shift.
Over the past few weeks, we have seen musicians switch their names that could be viewed as racist or racially insensitive. Country group Lady Antebellum switched their name to Lady A, and the Dixie Chicks are now known as the Chicks. But when are the sports teams going to step up?
If not now, when, I guess is the question. You know, those are clearly racist names. They clearly have a racist history. If our thinking about racism in sport is changing, then one would think that now would be a time to make those kinds of changes.
Some of those names need to change. You know, the slang names that really are hurtful. You know, the football team in Washington, I got to a point where I refused to use the nickname itself.
For decades, people have been asking for the names to be changed. This isn't new.
30 years ago, Sports Illustrated ran a feature article on their back page with pennants. And, you know, they had Cleveland Indians, Atlanta Braves, and then they had 2 other pennants, one that said Kansas City Jews, another one that said New York Negroes. And it said, if you think 2 of these are inappropriate, then the other 2 are as well. And it's true in my eyes. I think it's time.
The NBA released their test results of the 302 players that they tested for COVID-19, with 16 having positive cases. They've not released the names or the teams that the players play for, but their season is still scheduled to resume at the end of July in Orlando. For City News in Toronto, I'm Lindsay Dunn.